Hello, this tutorial is just going to be about showing a good way of using smart objects and interchangeably from Photoshop, Lightroom to Photoshop, and a reason why it's good. I took this picture today and you can see the background's pretty grey and miserable, which is fairly typical. And what I'd like to be able to do is, using the white balance control, I can, by making the shot warmer, I can make it look like it was lit by sunshine, but it makes the background go orange. What I like to do is use the white balance. By making it cold, I can actually make it look like a blue background, which works quite well using the white balance. But obviously we want to do it independently of the rest of the shot, so we're going to need masks and things, and that's too much for Lightroom. So I'm going to use Photoshop. So I'm going to use smart objects in Photoshop to do this, and the way I'm going to do that is just by right clicking on the picture and then editing, open a smart objects in Photoshop. Here we've got the picture in Photoshop. What I'm then going to do is, and we've got one layer here as a smart object, I'm going to right click on the layer and choose new smart object via copy. And that gives us two versions of this image, and on one of them I'm going to choose the bottom one. I'm going to double click on the smart object, which will open up Camera Raw, and for this one I'm going to make the blue sky. So I'm just using the temperature, and I made the temperature colder, which gives make the grey turn to blue, and I could even use a bit more vibrance, and maybe a bit of recovery might help, just to give it a bit of a natural blue sky look. And then I can click OK. And then on this top layer I'm going to double click on the smart object button, and on this one I'm going to make the temperature slightly warmer to give it a bit of a sunshine look. I'm going to click OK. So now I've got two versions, a cold one and a warm one. Now I just need to mask out the bird and probably the branch. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick selection. So I'll just drag around the bird. Then I'm going to add in the log. I've got a little bit too much down here, so let's just take a little bit out and probably a little bit out there. Just a rough idea. That we do, and then I've hit the mask icon. See, now it's revealing the blue sky in the background, and now I can see that it's a bit too strong, so I might come back to this layer, double click on the smart object, and I'm going to make it slightly less blue and turn the vibrance down a bit more. Click OK, and that's updated, give it a bit more natural. I think the mask is a bit strong, so I'm going to click on the masks, come onto the mask and actually reduce the density of the mask a bit, just to make it look slightly more natural. I think it's slightly too, the saturation is slightly too much, so what I could do is just put in a vibrance, maybe just reduce the vibrance a little bit all over. I just need to adjust that mask. So just with a brush, just to clear that bit up. And then a bit here as well, just to clean it up roughly. A little bit there. And then I might just brighten up a little bit up there. I'm just going to do a levels just to brighten up this bit of the beak here. I'll do that just for an empty levels and change it to probably screen. See, that lightens it up, and then fill the mask with black, so it's not doing anything. Then with a white brush on probably about 50% opacity, soft edge, I just want to add a bit of brightness in there, maybe even just this back legs, just to bring his feet into the shot a little bit more. A good way of doing this is if we go too far, like here, can always just switch, and there we have. And then when we're finished, I can either flatten it if I want to, but I think I'll leave it like this for now, and I can just go File, Close, just hit Save, come back to Lightroom, let it do its thing, and now I have two versions of the picture. I have the raw version here, and we can see it's got Nef, and now we have the Edit TIFF. Job done. And then if I wanted to make one for TOG, all I do is right click on the picture, export for my TOG preset, it's in here with a border, ready to go. Onto TOG, look at the info, you can see it's 188 kilobits and we're 1000 pixels wide. And then when I've uploaded that to TOG, I can just delete it and I'm done.